Everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. Today we're going to take a look at another Walbro HDC carburetor. I think I've mentioned this a couple times now in recent times. I've got a lot of generic how to fix your HDC, but an awful lot of folks are looking for their exact model. So as I go through stuff, if I don't have it called out by the exact model, I'm doing a new video on it. It's going to be higher res. What can it hurt, right? So today we're looking at a Walbro HDC-4. This would be from a super easy automatic in all likelihood, because this is date stamped June of 1976. All the other variants of the easy would have gone away by now. So is it unreasonable to think you'd find an HD4 on an easy or an easy automatic? No, it's not unreasonable at all. In fact, it's quite possible. Most likely this came from super easy though. I know nothing about it. It was loose. Let's dive into it. Okay, we'll start on the fuel pump side like always. Just see what we can see. Okay. Let's do our check valve test. Not terrible. This probably would have flowed and operated, but what's that? Why is that crap there? That looks like a chunk of fuel filter, to be perfectly honest. And take a peek down in here. Not good. Watch this. That is. Some of the very cheap junker aftermarket fuel filters will shed felt like that. That's an amazing amount. This carburetor wouldn't have been able to flow fuel to save someone's life. That's not cool. Alright, let's go over to the metering side and see what we can see. Alright, that's a little stuck down. We'll see if it takes a little. There we go. Alright, now don't be concerned about the water in there. That is from me hosing this carburetor off. Alright, the diaphragm actually is not bad on this. Not bad at all. Let's pop our circuit plate loose, because that'll really tell the tale. Now, see how there's only a single fuel feed hole? Gives you a big damn clue of what gasket should be back in there. Should be the Z-shaped one, because your high and low speed are feeding off of that one hole. If the second hole was drilled right here, that'd be different. And you'd have a dual fuel feed, and you need to use the divided gasket. That's why the HDC kits come with both. So let's see what we find in here. I can't tell you how many times I've popped one of these and found the incorrect circuit plate gasket. They'll run, sort of, but they won't run well. Okay, let's pop this loose. Okay, I felt a little gasket pull there, so not bad. This is a non-captured lever. See that it's loose. There's also some moisture down in here that I'll need to clean up. A little bit of gasket residue. That must be where I felt it pull. We'll be replacing that circuit plate gasket no matter what, and this will get blown out. Okay. So I can actually see through the idle passage holes. All of them. I can see the bronze of the throttle plate, but those holes right there, you want to chase those with a wire. Well, you have this apart, but I can see through them from here, so I'm not going to chase them with a wire. But I do want to test the check valve. We're going to give it the old-fashioned, non-technical suck and blow test. Perfect. No need to pop it out. And that's exactly what I normally find. But what you want to be damned careful of is don't completely blast carb cleaner all over everything in here and dissolve that. If it's the newer style synthetic material, it'll probably be okay, but if it's this old black stuff and rotten fuel has started to disintegrate it, of course then you probably want it to go away anyway, but this material seems to be very less resistant to the brake and carb cleaner. So you can take a good valve and even warp it to where it won't seal with that stuff. So be careful as you clean this out. That's what I'm saying. Last thing I want to look at before we clean it out, I want to peel this circuit plate gasket off. But first I will give you a close-up. This does have the correct one in place. Hopefully the camera has now focused and you can see that. I want to peel this off. I can see signs of moisture well before my recent cleaning. Not horrendous, but look at the rust there. You want to take the time to run this over your wire wheel or some light sandpaper or something and clean that crap out. And make sure you get any residual gasket on these ridges without damaging the ridges. A screwdriver, a pick tool like this, whatever it takes, and then use some air and a very light application of solvent and blow all this crap out. And we're going to get that old screen out and clean it up too. If it cleans, I'll reuse it. If it doesn't, we'll get rid of it. So, I'm going to clean all this stuff up and we will come back. Dokie. So that fuel screen cleaned up perfectly. It actually came out without a whole lot of trouble, which, you know, compressed air is known to do, if you know what I mean. It removes things quite effectively. Cleaned up underneath it. We're just going to go ahead and assemble this side since we're already right here. I'm using the CTS kit this time around. Which again, I have had excellent luck with. I've bought both this D10 and the K10 version, when the only real difference is in the D10 you're literally just getting the gaskets and diaphragms. You're not getting anything else with it. K10 you're getting a needle, screens, and all that kind of junk. And the price difference, I think you should buy. In the future I will only buy the K10 version from them, but I wanted to compare everything to make sure the quality was consistent, and it is. Say, I am one of the first to criticize a lot of the imported parts. However, in this particular case, it does not appear to be an issue. Okay. Including the nub height on the diaphragm. That's something that a lot of the Chinese kits get completely wrong. This, it's dead on. No problem whatsoever. Alright, let's get our proper circuit plate gasket with the Z shape to it. Come on, camera. Thank you. It's easiest to drop that sucker into place first. It has an alignment tab, so you can't put it in the wrong way unless you literally force it. That would be a dumb idea. Don't do that. Spring will sit in place nice and flat. And again, this is not a captured lever, so you got to slip it into place and then hold it. Just hold it like that. Hang your needle. And then drop it down. And if you go straight down, most of the time you'll catch the spring on the arm properly. This is not one of those times. Hopefully that's focusing enough that you can see it's out of alignment. So you got to reach under there, just gently try and get that spring where it belongs. You could take the plate back up again. I let up on the pressure a little bit. As soon as you see the spring index into that bump, you're good to go. But don't let go yet. You probably ought to get your screws started, or you're going to have a bad day. And nobody needs that kind of aggravation. Nobody at all. We're going to pressure test, because that's the right time to pressure test. We'll see if our new fuel pump gasket is going to leak air like they're known to. Boy. Something's leaking. Something's leaking like a sieve. Well, let's find out where that is. We'll start up here. Oh, yeah. Wow. Where else might it be leaking? This is fun. Oh, the circuit plate gasket. The needle. Okay. That's fun. We wouldn't want every one of these to go smooth, would we? Make it look too easy. Alright, let me get that crap blown out and we'll come back again. Okay, I've got the pump cover off. That gasket has got some Permatex gasket sealer soaking into it. But let's find out why the hell it was leaking so bad around the needle. That needle looked fine. So my question is there a residual piece of junk down in there that I just didn't catch? And the answer to that is I don't know. I mean, I certainly don't see anything. That needle has no defects on it that I can see. And yes, I can actually see the needle there. That would be a fair question for someone to ask. So, we're going to soak here we go. Soak one of these swabs in brake cleaner. I hadn't actually intended to soak the diaphragm there. And we'll just see what comes out of the hole here. Nothing. Nothing at all. So that's really odd. I got a little something out of here. I wonder if there was something residual that wasn't letting the new metering gasket seal properly. That would be interesting. I don't think I've come across that. Get that out of the way. I don't know that I've ever had to seal one of those, and I'm not going to start. That's going to get soaked with fuel. Although, with that in mind, without making a ginormous mess, you know what we're going to do is we're going to do that right now. Some instructions actually include soaking these parts in fuel before installing them. I've never done that. I don't like doing it. Simply because if I'm going to turn around and sell it, oh, cap's right there, dummy. If I'm going to turn around and sell it, I don't want it stinking like gas. But there we go. Mix fuel in that gasket. If that's the problem, we just fixed it. Alright. Spring is in place. See if we can get that to go down this time without fighting with us. I'll get down on its level. And go. Oh, that didn't work. I'm telling you, I'm not certain that today and carbs are mixing quite as well as they should. There she goes. And tried to pop right back out. Line, you little piece of schnot. Okay. Okay, no damage of it, or danger of it coming out now. Okay. You want these tight. You don't want to strip that little... It's like a number 6 screw, I think. Might even be number 4. Alright, let's reassemble this side. If you're getting the idea that it's not always uncommon to have to take it apart a couple times before you get it perfect, that does happen. More times than not, I get it on the first pass. But a carburetor that's been removed from a saw and thrown in somebody's junk bin, you know, it's for a reason. Somebody tried the rebuild and it didn't work. Alright, take 2. Much better. I can't hear the leak. Still got some seepage somewhere. Not there. Yep. Alright, until that gasket fills completely full with fuel and swells the way it's going to swell, it's just going to have to do that. We're not leaking at the needle anymore, but I've got to get that soapy water out of there before we assemble it. Otherwise, we'll create our own corrosion issue. That'd be dumb. Okay. So I even opened the needle with my finger and blew in through here to make sure that nothing could have leaked back in. So we're good. I'm going to pump it up again. We're going to put the cover on. We're going to call it good and be done with this thing. Okay, she hasn't released yet. Hasn't released yet. Got my finger on there, which is usually a good sign. But just every once in a blue moon, you get to that last screw, and the minute it gets tight, all of a sudden you hear a pfft, and away she goes. So let's find out if that's going to be the case this time. I don't think so. But then again, I never think so until it does it. Yeah, she's not at 0, and she's still not at 0. There you go. Again, that's the leak around the gasket that needs to swell. And it will. Alright, had a couple little unique things going on in there. That screen being that plugged with filter felt. See that more than you should, but it's also not super common. Usually if there's a buildup there, it's old sawdust and crap. I find it even on Walbro kits on the K10 HDC that this fuel pump side is going to push out at the corners, and I used to be really anal retentive about that. You guys have seen the hex head screw, so you can just reef the ever-living rat crap out of it. This will work. Okay, it will swell up, it won't leak, it'll be fine. Leave it up to you how hard you guys want to go on that, but again, don't damage your carb. These parts are hard to find. So there you go, Walbro HDC-4 from 1976. Not too terribly difficult to rebuild. We'll catch you guys on the next one.